Good afternoon, everyone. I hope everyone is doing well. I am absolutely worn out. So this morning, if you saw my last video, you know that I got the chickens moved before daylight, actually. Um, well, right at daylight as it was breaking. So once I got them in and everything settled in, I went to go find Solomon because he was still barking. So I went out there and lo and behold, I had to pull him off of a possum. Um, I don't know what kind of shape that possum's going to be in. There wasn't any blood per se, but he had broken teeth. So I don't know exactly what was going on. Um, I will go up and check a little bit later before I turn Solomon loose. I think I'm going to take a little itty bitty nap just because I am totally exhausted. So after I pulled him off the possum, got him put away, and then did all the rest of the rounds, I planted my tomatoes, my peppers. I planted my cucumber starts. I got my trellis up for my tomatoes. But when I planted my tomatoes, I realized that I planted them too far away from it. So I might have to go in and move them a little bit. We've had 3 or 4 huge rainstorms. So I actually ran to town to that family nursery and got some marigolds. I got some cayenne peppers and some Brussels sprouts. And I got purple sage in honor of my grandfather. Um, Riders of the Purple Sage was his absolute favorite book in the whole wide world. And so when I was looking at the variegated, I was like, oh, I really want to get another sage plant. I want to try to do a threesome of sage um, for my harvest. And I thought that would be really a pretty ad as well. So I went ahead and picked the purple over the variegated for my grandfather. So we'll get that planted in. I need to get my cucumber trellis up, and then once I get the cucumber trellis up, then I will plant beans, green beans, in that area as well, and I will have the beans come up through where our cucumbers are. So I'm going to kind of dual that. We're working in a very small space, and so I really have to think very carefully and plot very carefully everything that I put in that little garden spot. I want it to be absolutely perfect. So the marigolds, not only did I get, I ended up getting 2 4-packs of marigolds, which is what, 8. But they will get bigger, they'll spread. But I also stopped at Dollar General and got 4 packs of marigold seeds just to put in that area as well. As I deadhead these marigolds, I will spread them back into the soil. So we'll see how that goes. I'd really love to have a nice marigold border, especially on the side as you're walking into the house, to really pop that color out. Plus, it's a great insect barrier. I haven't put anything up around where I have my tomatoes on that border yet. I really don't know what to put over there. I might just go ahead and plant more marigolds over there or petunias. But like right now, I'm not going to get any kind of very delicate flower. I will always wait until after Mother's Day for that. So here we go. I mean, it's planting time. I'm getting it in, getting it done. It's not the biggest garden I've ever had, but it is the biggest garden I've had in several years. I had one garden years ago that was absolutely fantastic, but now that area is in the fence end area, so I'm going to have to figure out a different spot for gardening if I decide to do a bigger garden. I'm even considering popping this chicken fence down a little bit and using that little area that's been fenced in for a while. So I'm thinking about doing that maybe in the next couple years. But right now, just for 2 of us, I will be good with this. I really wish I did have some Roma tomatoes planting, just because I do like to make salsa and I do like to can salsa because it's so much fun. Um, but maybe I'll get lucky and someone will want to barter some Roma tomatoes for eggs. Maybe. I don't know. We'll see. I would love to have cabbage, but I also like to have Brussels sprouts. So I decided to go with the Brussels sprouts over the cabbage. And that's it. And I hear a hawk again. I'm so tired of fighting hawks. But anyway, little chickens are out of the bathroom. It's very peaceful in there, and it has lowered the temperature. But right now I'm cooking a pork tenderloin. I baked just one little tray of those cookies that I got yesterday, the Toll House cutoff cookies. I baked a little bit of those. Um, and that is about it for the rest of the day, other than getting the dishes finished. And I don't know, really not a whole lot. I'm going to put on something very, very comfortable and light, and I am going to float around here like a fairy. So anyway, I hope I hope you're doing well. Um, things are crazy. Things are not how we were taught they were supposed to be. Um, things are bizarro, bizarro. And yet there's a group of us Americans who think that it's what needs to be done. So let's get into this. They are now you, and you are no longer the they. What does that mean? Well, when I became a prepper, um, I remembered Ruby Ridge. Um, and I remember right after it happened, my husband and I were at a gun store buying ammunition, and a militia group tried to recruit us and gave us a bunch of information on Ruby Ridge. We did not join that. My opinion is if you go against the government in a way that is defiant and dangerous, you put your feet in those shoes. Those are the boots that you choose to put on. And as I became a prepper, more and more involved, and listened to more preppers talk, all of them were prepping against a government that would call martial law, take your guns, take away your freedoms. And now they are talking about is the government that we have in right now. This is the dangerous government. This is the government who will call martial law and take away your guns and take away your rights and freedoms. Just because you agree with the political stance that is absolutely off the charts of unconstitutional executive orders and behaviors and no due process to people that are being taken off the streets. Law and order, that's not law and order. That's chaos and harassment. It's unconstitutional. I then think about the history that I was taught in school, the history of how our government was formed, what our country had went through. I was taught about slavery. Something that I wasn't taught about slavery that they're teaching now, with a quote that I heard from someone who was from Florida, that slavery taught blacks skills for when they were free. I heard that and I could not believe that was said. Why are you taking away slavery's history? Why are you taking away women's history? Why are you taking away the history of those who aren't white men? Because is it that much of an ego downer to have women and blacks and immigrants make more of an effort in their life as heroes or path makers for others? That it's they're so much recognized that it takes away from who you are? Well, if you haven't done anything great in life, that's on you. That's on you. But to take away the history of blacks and women and other minorities, I think that's crazy. Unconstitutional behavior. Unconstitutional behavior. It seems to be that that's what this administration is. Dismantling our Constitution, taking away democracy, wanting to run a third term, which is completely unconstitutional. And I hear MAGA supporters, oh, that's great. He can't even tell the difference between a photoshopped picture and reality. When they tell him something and he goes on and lies about it, chances are he's just being told this crap, the lies, the propaganda. So to follow Trump is to follow the propaganda. To say that you are in a constitutional republic, you can't get there without democracy. And if democracy sounds too much like Democrat, well, that's just too damn bad. The they are now you, and you are now the they that you spoke of. Some of the things that I'm hearing, something that even concerns me as much as all of this, are the witch hunts. You know, you hear Trump saying, oh, that was a witch hunt when they found evidence against him and brought him to justice. Oh, it was a witch hunt. This is a witch hunt. That is a witch hunt. You know what a witch hunt is? Is when MAGA supporters start calling ICE on people of brown and black skin who are American citizens, and people go in, bust their door down, take their property, traumatize them to find out that they're citizens. Those are witch hunts. Taking people off the street without due process and just disappearing them. You know, one of my commenters, I only have a couple. One of my commenters made the comment, how did they put it? That you're okay with gang members and people traffickers and wife beaters being in the country. There are wife beaters in the White House. Donald Trump beat and raped one of his wives. He was found liable for sexual assault / rape. He even admitted that he is a sexual predator by grabbing him by the you-knows. Pigseth, also sexual assaulter. The religious advisors, he just got found guilty of raping 2 children. I'm assuming that you're okay with sexual assaulters, if that's how you're going to say that, or wife beaters. Because it's in the White House. I just don't know where else to go with this. You know, I heard that I say propaganda. No, I never said they ate the cats and the dogs, did I? But those who repeated that, that's propaganda. Those that said the boxer was a man, that was a lie. That was propaganda. Telling the truth is really hard for those who live in a world of propaganda and conspiracies. Very, very difficult. I get it, because I can see your struggle. I can see people struggle when they spout the lies and propaganda of the Trump administration, the criminal kings regime. they actually struggle with it. Because if they're Christians, they know it's wrong. And so they're going against God and Jesus. Because they know daggone well that Jesus would not have his hand on Donald Trump's shoulder to guide the United States of America. That is the most bizarre thing ever. Read Jesus's words. He has nothing to do with the United States of America and Donald Trump. I have to tell you that right now. If he did, Donald Trump would probably be struck by lightning because he wants to be a god of sorts. Because he's, according to him, the best at everything and anything, and nobody knows anything other than him, when in fact he knows very little, because when he says things that he believes is true because his cabinet has said that, there's something wrong with him. And there's something wrong with you if you're not seeing the unconstitutional behavior as an issue for our country. You live in a democratic, constitutional republic, democracy. You have to vote it. You'll have a great day. Hugs from a distance. I'm going to go eat a cookie, change my clothes, go check on the little babies, and then I'm going to go sit on the couch for a little while and chill. Bye, y'all. Stay safe. Plant a garden if you can. Plant a tomato on your outside patio if you have to. It's a tomato. Make you feel good. And it tastes good in the end. Bye, y'all. Hugs from a distance. Got to go.